You have been running psychological operations on every person you've ever been in a room with, and you had no idea. Not manipulation, not tactics you were taught. These are mechanisms your high IQ brain developed on its own, natural byproducts of processing social reality at a resolution most people can't reach. You didn't study these weapons, you grew them. And the people around you have been on the receiving end their entire lives without understanding why they feel the way they do around you. Here are the 5. Weapon 1. Behavioral simulation. You don't guess what people will do, you model it. Your brain has been collecting behavioral pattern data on every person it has observed, the micro-decisions, the contradictions between what they say and what they do, the moments where their behavior breaks from their stated values. By the time someone faces a decision in front of you, your brain has already run the most likely outcomes. You know where this conversation ends before it starts. You know which way they'll break before they know. This is your mentalizing network, your brain's social modeling system operating at an unusually high resolution. You call this reading people. What it actually is a behavioral simulation engine running in the background of every social interaction you've ever had. Weapon 2. Structural pattern lock. Most people hear an argument, you hear its architecture. While someone is still mid-sentence, your brain has already identified the load-bearing assumption, located the point where their logic substitutes emotion for evidence, and found a structural flaw that makes the entire position fragile. You're not trying to deconstruct them. Your brain runs structural integrity checks on information the way a structural engineer sees a building, not the facade, the load distribution. Most people find this uncomfortable to be around. They call it argumentative. What it is pattern recognition moving faster than the conversation. Weapon 3. The emotional lag. There is a gap between the moment an emotion arrives in your body and the moment you show it. That gap is the weapon. While others leak their full emotional state in real time, face, voice, posture, all changing the moment the feeling hits, you hold the response in processing. The irritation arrives, the satisfaction arrives, the discomfort arrives, but the output exits on a delay that gives you something most humans never access: the choice of what to show and when to show it. In conflict, this reads as calm. In negotiation, this reads as leverage. In any high-stakes conversation, this is the single mechanism that determines who has structural advantage. You don't react, you decide, and the gap between those two things is wider than most people will ever understand. This is the study that reframes what you've been told about yourself. If you've spent your life being told you're calculating, cold, or too strategic, subscribe. This channel exists to explain your wiring without apologizing for it. Weapon 4. Information asymmetry. You have a natural instinct to reveal less than you know. Not secrecy, calibration. Your brain registered early that the person who holds the most information while showing the least has structural advantage in every interaction. You don't manufacture this asymmetry. Your brain learned it the way a system learns anything, by running the experiment and recording what works. The person who knows more than they show has already won the next 3 moves. Weapon 5. Narrative restructure. You can change what a situation means to everyone in the room, not by arguing, but by installing a different frame. A failure becomes data, a conflict becomes a diagnostic, a setback becomes information about a variable that needed testing. Most people are trapped inside the emotional meaning a situation arrives with. You can step outside that meaning, examine the situation from above it, and re-enter with a frame that gives you, and sometimes everyone around you, more useful operating room. This is not optimism. This is a cognitive tool that operates at the structural level, and when you deploy it in a room, the entire room's relationship to the situation changes. That is influence at a depth most people cannot access and cannot track. 5 weapons. Your brain built them without your permission. The question was never whether you're using them. The question is whether you're using them with intention. Now you know what they are.